Alright, welcome back to Erlang. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff today, a lot of pattern matching, working with process identifiers, spawning those processes, and really using the strengths of Erlang to do cool stuff. So we're going to be holding on to state and functional programming using Erlang. So I appreciate you being here. If you learned something, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a message. I hope you guys learn and just enjoy the language. It's just fun to use. I personally like it a lot. So we'll do module. Oh, I forgot the little line. Cannot forget that little line. That little line is so super important. Module, look at that. Went from yellow to awesome. Now we'll do export. Then we'll have another list of arguments just like we did before, which is the same over here. We had the functions that we had created and we pushed them up into our export, easy peasy. From there, we are going to actually start. I like to start from the middle because it kind of gives you the real patty of the burger, right? So this is going to be the main ingredients that this is the loop that we're going to use that will use recursive calls on our process in order to hold state and manage that for us. So we're going to be using it, let's say it's a spaceship, ship, whatever you want. We're going to have it fire a missile and we're going to have it reduce its amount of ammo as we fire. And it'll hold on to that state as it runs. So we'll say loop, and this time we're actually going to give it an argument, which would mean that we would put loop/1 up here. We won't do it right now, otherwise just see a red squiggly. We're not going to do it with red squiggly. So we will say IO format, and we will say if you want to fire a missile, well, you can do that. Fire your missile. We'll do a new line character, and we'll start on the next one. We'll say, hey, or you can just quit, right? If you don't want to fire a missile, you're super lame, no problem, don't fire a missile. You can just queue to quit, easy peasy. So we want to use the variable, we'll call it choice, because it's the choice the user will make in order to, basically, it's the choice they make. And that's how I'm going to call it choice. So we will say string, semicolon, trim, that's not it, trim. And we will say my hand's off, get line. And then we'll actually do the same thing again, because I think that's just good for the user. Tells them exactly where to type it into the console. Hey, there it is. That's where you're going to want it. I think it's just more intuitive and it just looks nicer anyway. So now that we have this, we can actually do a case. So we can do the case of choice. I know it's case choice of. For the first one, we're going to actually just leave it as a string, keep things simple. So we'll take in, they didn't enter 1 and we'll leave it as a string. So we're going to match it to the string of 1. If they give us a string of 1, then we want to do something. And what we want to do is send a message to our ship that's going to be holding the state. So we will do that. So we will say PID, because that's what we put up here. That's the argument we have right here. And so that way any argument, any sort of process identifier that we spawn and put in will be used just under the variable of the name PID. So we don't have to worry about changing it out. It's interchangeable. Whatever you want to call it, we can. And we use the bang operator in order to send messages. And we're going to say we're going to send a single shot and we're going to send it to ourselves. That makes sense. We're not sending it to anyone else. We're sending it to ourselves. We're trying to manage the state. From here, we want to receive. And we want to receive a message from ourselves. So once we have that, or once we receive the message, we want it to be, let's see, we want to receive a message of, we'll say, let's say ammo. And we'll actually have it do new, oh, no, that's not what I want. New ammo count. Keep things extra easy. Now we don't have to worry about it. So we can do that. And now we can go, do this, and we can go IO format. In case we want to pop it out, we want to count, we want to see what the new count is, right? So we're sending a process identifier with the atom, which is how we're going to pattern match it, of single to ourselves. We'll add it down here. I know it's a little confusing, but hang on. Once you see the whole thing, you're like, you kind of piece it together and play around with it. So we want to receive new ammo count, and we're going to use the atom ammo to be the message that we pattern match that with. So we will say new count. We'll say current ammo. We don't have to go current ammo. Go caps, make it fancy. And we can put squiggle. We'll put squiggle P. That'll put in the correct thing that we want. And so from here, we will put new ammo count. And that'll be perfect. Now we want to go end because we were receiving a message. So we want it to end. And then we're going to call loop with PID again. End that. And now we can actually go on to just Q. So if we receive Q, then all we want to do is IO format, and we want to go goodbye. No bigs. No worries there. You don't have to worry about anything. It's all good. You can say OK. And from there, we can just hit end. Oh, end. Easy peasy. So once we do that, we now have the option to send that we shot a missile, and we want to receive the new ammo count that we have. So we're going to come up here, and we'll go with start. We'll go start count. Come over here, pop it over, and we want to create a new process. So we're going to say spawn. Go with module. All that means, I know that looks a little funky. All that means is ammo. You can put ammo there if you want. It just makes it more dynamic to, if something happened, you had to change it. You don't got to go through and change it all. You could put ammo here. I just usually put that there. No big. We'll call it a ship. That's going to be the atom that we are going to use to sort of match what we want. We want it to be a ship. And we're going to have an argument of, let's say, 10 missiles in it. So now we have this new way to start a count. It'll spawn a process with the name of ship, and then it'll have 10 missiles, or whatever we want, but it'll have 10 missiles, and from there, we can change it however we want to. We can add more, we can add less, but we now have that ability. So we can come down to the bottom, go to ship, come over here, and now we want ship to always be receiving. That's what we want, because it's gonna be getting sent messages from the loop. So the loop will constantly, if you pick one, you send the missiles, otherwise you hit Q, you're gonna quit. So every time it sends the missile, we want to make sure that ship is receiving, because we have our ship, we created that process, and we want ship to always be listening. Think of it, it's like out in space, you always want it to listen because you're gonna want to know how many shots are left, right? So we'll say receive, and we will receive, as you can imagine, this. We want to receive single. So we will receive single, and we will receive it, from. So we will save the self into from. That just makes it easier, makes it a little more smooth to see. And we want to actually return the amount of ammo that we currently have. So we do have a ship, and we have a current ammo, and we want to have the current ammo be changed by the new amount count, which is after it fires one shot. So we will say, we'll call it new ammo count. New ammo count will equal the current ammo, and we'll actually put amount here. So that'll be, we have single, we have the amount. Oh, I didn't put the amount in there. So what we want to do up here, is we'll put 1. There we go. So now we have single. You could put it down here as just -1 if you wanted to, but this will keep it a little simpler for us. We can say, hey, we're going to send a atom. It's going to have 1 number in it, and we're sending it to the self. Down here, we're going to receive single, which is the same thing. We're going to save 1 to the amount and from to self. That makes sense. So single, 1 to amount, self to from. And we can say current amount minus amount. Now we could also do max if we want, just to make sure that everything goes well. Go max. And we could do 0, and that should make it so that it won't actually go below 0. And from there, now that we have that all set up, we're going to have this new amount count. So we want to send that back. So we will actually we will do that. That's one of the cool things we get to do. So excuse me. We can actually go from, and we're going to send it back now, because inside of our loop, it's expecting to receive, it sends out a message, and it expects to receive a message back. So we need to have it receive this message, which will now hold this value. So we're going to send back ammo with the new amount count. And then from there, we're going to come on down and we're going to call our ship with the new amount count. And then we can just go to end. So there's a small error with I actually had the wrong thing there. I think I had, current amount, but it's actually current ammo. Easy peasy fix. So now ship will be listening for any of the messages coming from single with an amount, and it's going to come from the self, and it's going to return exactly what we want. It's going to return ammo. It's going to return it to the self. So the self is going to send a message back to itself, back to the loop up here, and it's going to be ammo, new ammo count. And we're going to call ship again with new ammo count. So now we can come up here. We'll have just a pure start. And we'll say, hey, we want to start this entire thing. We're going to say new ship equals, and we'll say start count. Start count. And then we can come down here. We can go, we'll call loop with this new ship. So that means when we start the entire program, we'll go in, we'll compile it, we'll run start, and new ship will call on start count. We'll sort of create a ship with 10 missiles in it. From there, we'll pass that new ship into our loop, which is right here, which is that loop PID. So basically this new ship just goes right there. And each time it'll send it back and forth to everything we need. So we can actually come up here and go start/0 because we don't need that. And we can come over here, we can go ship /1 because it has one argument in it. Okay, make sure we save it. Oop, I messed that up. I put something there because I was trying to save. And, whoop, there we go. I had accidentally messed it up when I was trying to save it. So we can now run this system. Easy peasy. We can just go C ammo. We got ammo. So now we can run the program by running start. Now we have the option to 1, fire a missile, or 2, quit. So we're going to fire a missile. And there we go. We are now firing the missiles. We can come up here. We can say, or I think that I needed to put a new line. So yeah, I need to put a new line right there. There we go. And now, I will quit real quick, restart that. We can say fire missile. There we go. So now we are firing all the missiles we need, and we are holding on to state. And we won't go below 0 because we put that right there. Put that little safeguard in so that way we can't go negative missiles, because you can't go negative missiles. If you're all out, you're out. So now we can hold on to everything that we needed to in our state and let that flow. So I hope you guys were able to learn from this. Like I said, it's a little confusing, but once you get the hang of it, the challenge I would give to you is to add in this, but make it 2. Make it a second one. And we can go over that together in another video, but make it a little more complex. We can add a little more thing. We can add more to it. We can add more options. We can continue to build and flesh this out, and I'll continue to do that with you guys so you can continue to learn and get more advanced pattern matching, message passing, and all the awesome things that Erlang can do. So I know it's a little confusing to look at first, and especially, but like starting at the middle probably throws some people off. It's just how my mind kind of worked on it. But it allows you to see the brunt of what we're doing. Like, this is the main burger. We want to have a loop. We want to have a fire missile. We want it to take an option. We want it to be a case so it can pattern match, whether it's a 1 or a Q or a T or whatever we put in there, we can change it. And from there, we already have the ship ready to go. The ship starts right when we hit start. We get a new ship. We pass that new ship into our loop, which is right there. So imagine that's new ship, and it's always sending it to itself. And because we called it ship, we can come down here. We know, hey, ship has ammo, has a current ammo. It starts with 10, and it's going to receive a message from the loop. It's going to say it shot a single round, and we know that because it shot a single round. We're sending it to ourselves. We're sending it to the ship, and all we're doing is saying single. It's the same thing. 1 to amount. That way we can use it down here. And self to from, so when we send it back, we can say, hey, we got it. We're sending it back from, we're going to send the message. This is our message sender. It's the bang operator. And we're going to put the ammo as our atom to pattern match, and we can receive it up here. So I hope this was beneficial. I hope you were able to learn. I think it's really, really cool how it works. For me, it flows very smoothly. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And if you liked it, you learned, then make sure you leave a message. Thanks, y'all. Have an awesome day.